Hey y'all, welcome back to Sip Happens. I am your discount bargain bin uh, Goodwill store t-shirt of a host, Shawn Banerjee. And with me as always,
I'm Rosie. I don't know what to say after that.
I've been watching too much Stephen Colbert's Meanwhile segments.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
We're at Sip Happens today. Hey, welcome to that show. We have a guest. Another guest.
I love that we're X number of episodes in. We'll edit in the number of episodes whenever we broadcast this.
Sure we
Sure.
will.
And we're still living the dream of being this awkward. We do have a guest. Our guest today is the co-DM of D4, which is a actual play streaming game, which we love. Dustin Fletcher. He does a bunch of other things that we're going to talk about too. But right now, just think about D4. All right.
But caltrops. I'll be thinking of tiny little caltrops.
It's my favorite thing about D4s is that they carry their own damage dice.
They do.
Do we have a tea today? What?
We do another Dryad because 75 episodes of Dryad tea. This one's called Mermaid's Promise. It's a green tea with vanilla, warm chocolate, and anise notes, whispers, and promises from mermaids of old. What promise did they make you? They make to you. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I've never met a mermaid. Has a mermaid made you a promise, Shawn?
Yes, but I'm under NDA, so.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah. I respect
that. Actually, I think a number of people who would self-identify as mermaids have made me promises, but that's what I get for living in the radius of Coney Island for 7 years. The mermaid parade. The mermaid parade happens every year. No, just me. Great. This ingredients list.
I already smelled it. I just skipped ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Green tea, calendula petals, anise, cacao nibs, and natural flavors.
It smells really yummy.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
It's my opening a Ziploc bag.
I'm really excited.
I almost smelled hard enough to snort it again, like that one time, and I'm real glad I controlled myself.
It's my favorite part of our episodes is when you do something like that.
when I'm just the worst.
Yeah,
all right, I'm starting my water.
Sun at this point in the day, and the sun.
Ooh, yeah, it makes it look like you're badly rendered in the early 2000s.
That's what it is. How long do we steep this for, and what do we do with the water?
We're gonna steep this for 2 to 3 minutes at 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 92 degrees Celsius for those of you that live in a place that has logic numbers.
Hey, Shawn.
That's me. I'm Shawn.
You didn't. I know it's kind of hard to see because of the sun and everything, but you didn't comment on my shirt yet.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I'm a little offended.
That's fair. Want to tell us about your mug and your shirt?
Ew. I'm so excited. So, obviously, I'm wearing a giraffe shirt because giraffes are the best animals. This was from the before times when I worked at a clothing store, where I was a manager at a clothing store, and we got in a giraffe shirt, and I bought it. And then one of my students has this thing, and they're called like happy gifts when you see something that reminds you of someone and that like would make them happy. So my student knows that I do a tea show and that I like giraffes, and so they had their adults purchase this for me, and their adults gave this to me. I have a new giraffe mug.
That's super cute.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm using my traditional Japanese mug, which I enjoy, I think. But takes up extra trivet space, so I have a bowl of trivet over here.
Rude.
I mean, it's the way the life goes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you all for coming to Sip Happens. Oh, right. No, there's a whole...
I think we have a guest. Let's get our guest, on screen here.
Okay.
Hello, guest.
Oh, hello. Oh, hi.
Thank you.
It is
for joining us from Ireland. The land.
It's all the green, right? I mean, it's March, so I figured it's March. St. Patty's Day's coming up, so why not just go ham?
I can almost guarantee this will not air in March, so I'm so happy.
This is gonna be like May.
It's March when we recorded it, so
right.
Yeah. We're fairly open about our BTS here.
You know, I'm already messing things up. This is gonna be great. This is so good.
So happy you're here.
Mr. Fletcher.
I'm so happy to be here.
Dr.
Ooh,
Fletcher.
good. Oh wow, that's formal.
Why don't you tell us about who are you? What do you do? What are you drinking?
I'm Dustin Fletcher. I'm one of the co-DMs of D4, a double DM Dungeons and Dragons game. Hey, double DM
Whoa.
Dungeons and Dragons D4. Look at that. Oh man, that's the name. But yeah, we on top of that, I also work in the film industry. I dress superheroes for a living, which is kind of a neat job, I guess. I never thought I would be doing that.
Awesome job.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I love to play some D&D and some tabletop. I also play in ATL by Night, which is a Vampire the Masquerade game based in Atlanta. So, but yeah,
That's awesome.
that's me. I
I'm
mean,
also based in
that's just,
Atlanta.
yeah.
I'm not.
I'm a vampire, so that game has lots of interest for me.
Yeah. I am also drinking a dryad tea.
What?
So I will let you know what it is. My wonderful, wonderful wife is surprising me with one of the. Oh, here we go. I am drinking Ravens in the Library. Is what I am drinking. It sounds so delicious. It is a black tea and Earl Grey mixture with heather flowers, apple pieces, mallow and linden flowers, cornflower petals, jasmine flowers, and natural flavors. And it sounds so good, and I cannot wait.
That sounds.
Cannot wait.
Have that one? We should get that one.
I don't think I have that one in my box. I'll have to look.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look through the 90 teas.
I'm not doing that right now.
But I'm going to steep this one for 3 to 5 minutes at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a little bit higher temperature steeping.
Makes sense.
And I am my tea steeper is one of my favorite things ever. I got it a few years ago, and I can't wait to show it off once my tea arrives. It is amazing.
This is the first guest that we've had that is like
into tea
the way that we are.
And we've had a few that are into tea, but not necessarily in the way that we are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a coffee connoisseur. I mainly drink coffee, but I do love a very, very good cup of tea every now and then, especially depending on the day, or especially if, like, for any reason I have like any type of like scratchy throat, or if I've done like a lot of voice work or something like that, I have to have tea. I like a sweeter note of a tea, definitely that hint of floral, really, really over the like darker straight black tea, the more bitter teas. So yeah, get honey in my tea all day, every day. It's just, that's what I prefer.
Collection of honeys.
Yeah. See. Yeah. We actually have there's a local butcher shop down the street where I get local honey. So it's local homegrown honey, fresh from the area, which just,
I mean, give them a plug. What's the name of the place? Because I don't live you, and I would love that.
Yeah, the name of the it's the Butcher's Blade, which is in Flowery Branch, up near North Georgia, and the name of the honey is Wildflower. It's Bee Haven LLC. So they're based out of Swanee, Georgia. They are light, it's kind of reflecting, but it is some of the best honey that I have ever had. So
I'm going to be heading up further north this weekend, so maybe I'll see if our path takes us through Flowery Branch and pick up.
Yeah, you should. The butcher shop's great. If you are a meat eater, it is a wonderful, wonderful family-owned butchery, and I love to grill and smoke meats, so it is one of my favorite places to be. And they do a pork loin that's like 2.5 inches thick that I usually get, and just so good. I'm actually smoking out a rack of ribs this weekend and doing some smoked salmon. So I'm literally gonna head up there after we finish this to get some meat. But
nice. And it was the Butcher's Blade?
Butcher's Blade, yep.
Very cool.
You know Sean's looking that up right now.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not finding it, but I'll figure that out later.
Block. It may be Butcher's Block. I am so bad with names. I am.
There's the Block and Blade butcher shop in.
That's
Valley
it.
Ranch.
That's it right there. That is the one.
Buddy,
Hey,
it says that it's
yeah.
permanently closed. I mean, Google thinks that it's permanently closed. If that's
It
wrong,
is.
go
It is not.
suggesting
It
edit.
is definitely not. Yeah. Now that I'm totally.
Yeah,
I'm
now
so,
we're
I'm
just
so
gonna do
bad
this.
with names.
How many times
I
has
know.
this come up, Rosie, that we're like, let's talk about meat and things that aren't tea.
I had a butcher shop, so I grew up in a small town, and we had a butcher shop in our small town, and I loved going. We would get like lunch meat from there, and then like all of that stuff. And my parents, I grew up in New Jersey, so we would go down the shore, and when we would go down the shore, there was a butcher's called Okies, and we would go there and buy all of our meats for the like week we were down the shore. So I like a good butcher shop.
Yeah.
We go to a butcher near us called Tony's Meat Market.
Oh yeah, we have one of those by
His
us.
name is Tony.
Weirdly.
No, because this is definitely just a guy
No, I
named
know.
Tony.
We
and
have
his
a
wife
place
Nancy.
called Tony's. Here.
Oh, well, nice.
That's cool.
I hope it's the same guy.
Yeah,
He's
just
so
like
weird
flies back and
between
forth.
Georgia and Colorado. Oh, there's a tail of a fuzzy thing. Our audience needs to know.
That is my puppers. But I have my tea. It is ready. I am super excited.
Oh,
That infuser looks so cute, and that
It
cup
is.
love it.
awesome.
I know. Yeah, this is my specific cup, and you can tell because it has players' tears on the other side.
Is there a merch shop where someone can get cups?
There is. You can go to d4dnd.com, and that will take you to our merch shop. We have mugs and pint glasses and shot glasses and t-shirts and
Up
purple
here somewhere?
pants. Somewhere.
If the link's not in the Twitch chat, it's because Dustin didn't send it to us.
I will totally send it to you, and it will be there.
No worries, buddy. I believe in you.
That is amazing. That's a cool mug, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our logo. We have hoodies and like this one. Oh, look at that. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, our shirts are super comfy. They're canvas brand, and they are so soft and comfy. But my infuser is a squirrel because I love squirrels. It's my favorite animal, and it's super fun. But I am, the giraffe. Yeah,
Giraffes are better.
I gotta go find an elephant to bring on screen or something.
Just a whole elephant, just literally a whole elephant. Just bring it on screen. I'm sure it'll fit.
If there was ever like a genetically modified pygmy elephant, I would keep one as a pet. I mean, it would be the size of a Irish wolfhound, but I would want it.
Oh, that is a good tea.
Have you tried ours?
I have not had the mermaid. I actually looked to see if we had the mermaid one, and we didn't. So that's why I was. But I will try. I will definitely get the mermaid blend. It sounded lovely when you were reading the ingredients.
Have you tried ours yet, Rosie?
I like it. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
That's surprising. It's a green tea. That's not usually.
I know, but it has chocolate in it. So.
Yeah, and I love green tea. Like green tea is my other favorite type of tea. So good, but a chocolate green tea. It sounds so yummy.
Sad. Shawn did a lot of, maybe it was like the diffuser, but a lot of the stuff came out of it and is all now in my drink.
Not on my end, but yeah, maybe it was just the diffuser. Okay. Yeah, no, that's surprising. Mine doesn't look like that, and I'm not going to mess with the camera to show you. So Dustin.
Yes.
Who's Codium? Who's this other human being that you share?
So my partner in crime is Devin Henderson. We are one brain. We are Legion. We are Jaeger pilots. And D4 is our giant mech suit that we use to fight the kaiju, which are our players. No, we don't fight them because we tell stories together. But we have been, we're on our second year of D4, but we co-ran a LARP together for 10 years. And that's kind of where we realized that, we can run things together. And then we also had a prop making company that we ran where we made foam LARP weapons and other like horror props for haunted houses. And so, yeah, we've known each other for so long, and he's my best friend, and I get to tell stories with him, and it's pretty amazing. Like it's D4, we have some of like the greatest cast members that any DM could ever ask for. We're all friends, and so to get to be able to write and tell a story with my best friend, and then do that with some of my greatest friends forever is just literally a dream come true with this show that we've been doing for. Oh man, we're coming up on our 100th episode, which is wild. It may have already happened when this airs, but yeah, we're as of right now we are creeping up on episode 100, which is surreal. So many hours, like I never thought I would have this much D&D in a campaign, and it's just phenomenal. It's been so crazy, because we're 4 to 5 hour episodes a session. Yeah. So depending on if there's a combat or whatnot, but it's so fun. And we not only are we co-DMs, but when we're coming up with the concept of D4, and we're like, okay, how can we make this stand out? And so co-DMing is one thing. There's not a lot out there with 2 DMs, and we decided, because we have so much free time already, that we would custom make every map for every encounter. And so we do. So every combat encounter that we think is going to happen, we will build the map. And Dwarven Forge and Warlock tiles from WizKids are incredible. They are wonderful, wonderful pieces, but they're also expensive, and not everybody can afford them. And so one of the things that we wanted to do with all of our terrain is 90% of our terrain is made from stuff that you can find either at your local hardware store or dollar store, and can do that and still make beautiful set pieces and terrain pieces for your players. And it's a lot of fun. Sometimes players won't go to the things we have planned, and they end up sitting on the shelf. We have a couple maps that have never been used and probably never will be used. But
sounds accurate.
Other game.
It is what it is. We'll either try to find a way to merge that map into something else, or into another means to bring it up again, or slightly change it a bit if that's ever the case. But a lot of times when we say that, sometimes people will be like, oh, that's a lot of railroading, or how I couldn't do that because, what if your players don't do that? And one of the things that Devin and I do every week after every session is we will ask our players, what are your plans this week? What do you plan? What do you want to bring to the story? And we will plan our sessions based on what they tell us they want to do this upcoming session. Sometimes we'll kind of guide things into what we want to do, but a lot of the times it's exactly that way. We tell the story together.
That's awesome.
That's to us. D&D is a cooperative story between DM and players. It's not DM versus players. It is very much they have changed our story more times than I can count on my hand, on my fingers, because of actions or consequences or dice rolls. And that's just why this game is so amazing.
Yeah.
So that is all that aligns a lot with my philosophy on D&D and it being a collaborative storytelling game device. And that's awesome to hear. That's so much fun. So you said that you make your maps, your terrain from affordable 90-something% affordable materials that you can find locally, that most people can find locally. Do you then post how-tos or list up oh, this is how we did this in some form somewhere?
We don't do a how-to because there are already incredible how-to tutorials that we learned from, like Wylock or DM Scotty, V-Muse, the Crafting Muse.
Yep.
Those are all the ones that we studied when we were figuring out, hey, we're going to build terrain, and then utilizing all of their teachings into our own knowledge and then kind of making it our own. But we will do time-lapse videos of our builds. and will, try to, if I remember to take progress photos. I like to, but sometimes I don't usually remember because a lot of times I'm building the map on Saturday and it plays on Sunday. So every now and then I get smart and I start a week ahead of time. Or no, it's usually Saturday night. I'm up building the map and then finish painting it Sunday before we go live.
I don't know what that's like. I'm always ahead of the game.
Yeah.
We're super on top of things.
Of course, yeah.
I definitely did not just put your name on the thing like as you were logging in on your little nameplate to get all that set up today.
Of course,
and ready.
You had it ready for weeks. Yeah, of course.
You've had you booked for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so let's pivot, man. Can I say what show you work on? Can I say what show I think you work on that might be true?
Sure, absolutely.
You work on Black Lightning, right?
I do work on Black Lightning,
which is the CW superhero show that's filmed here in Atlanta as opposed to in Vancouver, I think is the rest of them.
Correct.
What's that like? And your Black Lightning is currently in its final season?
Final season. Yep. We are in our final season, sadly. It's a dream show. It is probably the greatest television show I've ever worked on. And that's just from a production and crew standpoint and cast standpoint. I am in charge of dressing Chris Williams in his Black Lightning costume, in his super suit. And he is incredible. Happy that I have come to call him a friend. And he is just one of, if not the greatest actors I've ever had the privilege of taking care of. It's just, the show itself is just wonderful. And being super suits, I'm on set when the suit works, and when not, I'm in the shop, and I'm doing repairs. I'm fixing armor pieces that break on all of the suits across the show, Lightning, Thunder, and Black Lightning, repainting things that kind of go into that. And it's the perfect show for me because I love being on set. I love the chaos and the hustle and bustle of being on set, 12 to 16 hour work days, just nonstop. But at the same time, I also, when I'm not on set, I like to agent die or do shop work. And so the show gives that perfect balance of shop work and set work that has just been incredible for the past 3 years. I came in season 2, and it has just been literally incredible. My designer, LJ Shannon, who designed all the super suits, is one of the best designers I've ever worked for. I would drop any show. I would drop anything to work with her if she ever called me on anything else. You've probably seen her work in just about any superhero. She did Titans, she did Doom Patrol, she does The Boys. She designs all the suits on the Superman and Lois that just came out.
So good.
Yeah, so she is a phenomenal designer, incredible to work for, and I get to dress superheroes for a living. Like that's what is life? Like I get to play D&D on Sundays, and then during the week I get to dress superheroes. Like, how did I even get so lucky?
so I mean, that sounds like a pretty sweet setup of gigs. So I know. I know Cress Williams' character, Black Lightning, got folded into the Crisis on Infinite Earths special.
It
did. I'm assuming most of that was filmed in Vancouver.
It was all filmed in Vancouver. Right.
How did he get in and out of his clothing without you there?
He didn't. I was there.
What?
Yep. Myself and my set partner, Chris Burns, we flew up to Vancouver for a week of filming. We did several days on The Flash and then a couple days on Legends of Tomorrow. And it was a dream come true. I am a diehard Flash fan, like diehard. Like The Flash is my favorite superhero, and it was a dream to get to be able to work on The Flash. I didn't think I ever would be able to because it's a Canadian show, they have an incredible crew of talent out there, and so it's very unique and rare. And I'm very lucky and privileged to have been able to go up and fly out to Vancouver to get to work on my dream show, essentially, of the
That's
Flash.
amazing.
It was
Wow.
it was a wonderful experience. I got to be there when like all of the heroes revealed themselves, and then the moment that will always stand out to me for the rest of my life is getting to meet John Wesley Shipp in the original 90s Flash costume, which is the show that really made me a Flash fan as a kid, reading my Flash comics and watching the 90s Flash TV show and getting to meet John for the first time, just from a professional standpoint, but getting to meet him and he's wearing the 90s Flash suit.
Yeah.
It's like it was
That's
surreal.
so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
The Flash was my first favorite superhero. Green Lantern has overtaken that, but like Flash is always going to be high ranked for me. I am loving the new Superman and Lois show, by the way.
It's so good. I haven't seen the second episode, but I watched the pilot, and I didn't know what to expect. Tyler is such a phenomenal actor and such an amazing Superman that I'm so glad that he got his show, because when he came onto Supergirl as Superman, I mean, everybody was hesitant. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's another Superman. Here we go again. There's another Batman."
Yep.
But he killed it and he crushed it, and he has that perfect blend of like Clark Kent niceness, and then Superman, like, I'm like lawful good paladin, if you will, to really get the job done. And the show itself, with that, like the mix of like family and adding the twins and the full on like we have a life outside of this and now we're juggling both of this, it was really good. I'm very surprised and happy with it.
Of all the superhero shows I've seen so far, I think of all the superhero shows I've seen so far, with the possible exception of Black Lightning, it feels like the most grounded. It feels like the most like, and this is weird to say about a show about Superman, right? But it feels like the most down to earth and the most real without getting gritty. I also really like that they brought the twins in, because I'm a fan of the twins from the comic books. And then I was explaining to my wife and roommate about the show, and they were like, "Wait, they have kids?" And I was like, "Okay, you guys have to watch now."
Yeah.
And now we all watch together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dude, I can keep talking to you about superheroes forever, but
I could talk about superheroes forever.
I love it.
Aside from D&D, it's my second like passion is comics and superheroes.
I'm so mad at Devin for getting to you first. Every time we chat, I'm just like, oh, I want to be the third head on that Cerberus. But yeah, so let's go back to the D&D world. So you talked about meeting John Wesley Shipp, and that being an amazing moment in your superhero / professional career. Is there an equivalent in your D&D world career?
There is actually, which is before D4 came about. There was a D&D live event called Stream of Many Eyes that was coming up, and
launching Waterdeep, right?
And launching Dragon Heist. And so I saw like Wizards made a post about it, basically saying, "Hey, this is going to be a huge event. There's going to be a bunch of costumes and cosplays and all this other stuff." And just on a whim, I tweeted at them and Greg Tito, and I was like, "Hey, if you need a set costumer, let me know where to send my resume." And lo and behold, I got a message from them. I sent my resume, and the next thing I know, a few months later, I'm flying to LA, and I am costume coordinating and stage managing D&D live stream of Many Eyes. And that was kind of like my first step into the streaming side of D&D. Like I've always played and DM'd and, ran LARPs, but I'd never done the streaming side of it. And that was like my first step into the like the influencers and the industry and all of that as far as the tabletop world goes. And I fell in love, and I ended up, such an incredible experience. I have made friends who I consider family now from it, and that's what sparked D4. Because I came back from LA and I was like, hey, Devin, I was just finishing up with the long running campaign that I was on. We were on the last stretch, like towards the end game. And I was like, what if we streamed the next game? It'll be super small. We'll just throw up some webcams in the gaming room and we'll just have fun. Nothing big. That's how it was started. And I was like, I want you to play, because he was playing in that game. And then the more I talked, we had just retired from LARPing. And I was like, well, what if we co-DM it? What if we co-ran this? And we miss telling stories together at LARP. Let's just go ahead and let's co-DM this D&D game. And he's like, yeah, okay, we can do that. And then we started reaching out to people and talking. And nobody said no to anything we asked for.
It's always nice.
So by the end of it, we're like, fuck, we have to actually put on a fully on produced show and put our money where our mouth is, so that way we don't look like Trump. Yeah. So, and lo and behold, we partnered with an amazing production company, Rock Punch ATL here, and they are our production company that handles all of our production side with cameras and streaming equipment and all of that. We teamed up with our local game store, Meeple Madness, and the first year of our game was streamed in their store, in the middle of their store, before we ended up building our own set for 2.5 months of year 2, after our first year into year 2. Now going into year 3, but yeah. And then the pandemic hit, and we went from a studio show to a remote play show. And that is where we currently are. Sadly, I have a brand new custom-made gaming table from Molinar's workshop that is just sitting collecting dust in the set right now. But we'll get there eventually when it's safe. But it's going remote has allowed us to kind of bring in some guests that we normally wouldn't be able to bring in, because they would have to be in Atlanta, and now they're we can bring in some of our friends from Seattle and LA and all over the place, and so that's been fun. But yeah, it's been a wild roller coaster from the Stream of Many Eyes to where we are now, to where it was literally just I'm in work mode. I'm just gonna go work, and I'm gonna make sure that the show runs smoothly, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody is dressed and looking their best. By the end of it, they had the set itself was a street and water deep, and it was covered in hay. And the dryness of being in LA for the first time, because I'd never been to LA. That was my first time in LA. Flying by myself, I knew nobody in a brand new city, and it just destroyed my throat. I lost my voice. And so by the end of it, I'm trying to give stage direction or talking. Todd Kenrick ended up interviewing me. I sound like this, I'm barely speaking. I can barely talk.
Amazing.
It is so amazing. But it was just we had a fight choreography with 2 fight companies out there that were incredible, doing full on fights in the middle of the town that everybody was watching, and we had the yawning portal that was serving real drinks, and
wow,
it was amazing. Yeah. And because of that, we started with Dragon Heist with D4, because that was fresh in my brain. We just finished Dragon Heist 3 episodes ago.
Wow.
1 to 5 can be a long march.
Yeah, no, they're definitely above that. We gutted it and basically stripped Dragon Heist from everything it is, and just used it as
Framework.
the skeleton, the framework of the story,
Yeah.
and built it around our own narrative. We also try to be the most canon to lore of Forgotten Realms. There's so many Easter eggs for any of the Forgotten Realms lore junkies out there in D4. Devin and I will go down hours-long dives into lore from all the way back to first edition Forgotten Realms Faerun, and even like lore from like video games that no one ever played but are considered canon in the lore. Those Easter eggs are in D4.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, thanks. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to, not everybody's gonna get it, but that one person, it's like that one person gets it, and you're like, it was worth it. It's like going to a convention and you're wearing the costume that is from that one show that one person wore for 3 seconds that one person will know, and that one person who sees you is gonna freak out from across the con floor and come running. Oh my God, you're blah blah blah, and you're like, hey, yes, I am. Thank you. But no.
How's speaking of losing your throat, losing your voice and your throat being scratchy? How's your tea?
Delicious. Oh my God, it is so yummy. Highly recommend Ravens in the Library from Dryad Tea.
We're not at the rating part yet, Dustin. Hold it.
I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
This is the mid-show check-in on how teas are going.
We're not quite mid-show at this point, but sure.
Mid-show as in happens not beginning, middle, end. There's only 3 parts. This is not the end.
Sure.
It is delicious. And I will leave it at that.
And Rosie, are you still enjoying yours?
Yeah. You? No?
It is tea.
We're having opposite experiences this episode. That's fair.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
We'll get in my more nuanced thoughts. Yeah. We'll get more nuance later, but I am enjoying it. I'm gonna finish it, but yeah. Rosie, do you have any questions for our guest?
Yeah. What's it like to co-DM? Because I am a DM and I get in my own way in my head when I do stuff. So I can't imagine there being like another person also feeding into that.
It is. I'm spoiled now to have that person to feed off of. We have been working together for so long. We are one brain. There's so many times where we will say something at the same time, or we will have the same thought, and so we have that we're able to work with. But the biggest benefit is like if you're in a role playing a scene and there's multiple NPCs, to actually have people to play off of is just game changing.
That sounds really sexy, to be honest, because like talking to yourself in multiple accents is not fun.
Yep. So to literally have that person to play off of and to feed off of their energy and emotion is very, very helpful. Also, it helps not slow things down, because if there's like a rules question, that can get handled while the story continues, that you can take over. There's a couple ways to co-DM that we've seen. Like there's the one DM at a time, but they are co-writing it and they play. It's like switch off playing and DMing depending on where they are in the story. There is the I'm only mechanics co-DM. I don't worry about story. I only worry about the numbers and make sure that combat and everything goes smoothly. And then what Devin and I do, we are 50-50 across the board everywhere. And so we're able to, when we're writing, it's like being in a small writer's room. We can throw ideas at each other. We can bounce ideas off of each other. We can see what hits and what doesn't. We're not by ourselves writing. We're able to bounce ideas and kind of see, okay, well, what if we did this? Okay, I like that, but let's say if we did this, okay, that fits better. And literally being in that writer's room, to even down to we will trade off paragraphs when we're reading, or whenever we're reading descriptions, and we'll just flow back and forth. We'll know who is supposed to, like, if it comes to a dialogue or we know an NPC is going to be talking, the person who is not going to play that NPC will read the descriptions and the narrative of that, and then that person will just immediately pick up the dialogue. And then we'll play off of that, and then in combat it's a little more different when we're in studio, but while we're remotely now, like one of us will take care of initiative while the other one does the map and moves the minis and all of that. And that just again helps things helps smooth things, out a bit so that it doesn't quite go so slow down.
That sounds really amazing.
I've definitely solo DM'd games since having, and every time I'm like, oh, I miss having that crutch next to me that I just can feed off of and lean on. And
you heard it here first. Dustin thinks Devin is a crutch.
I mean, at times, and I'm a crutch for him at times. Like it is what it is. It's just that
yeah, we haven't heard that from Devin yet, so I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
If Devin comes on the show and says that, that's one thing, but you can't just be telling us that.
Have you ever had a situation where one of you either like missed something or forgot something and like said it to the players and the other one's just like, okay, we're going that way now?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. All the time. But you have to be yes and, especially with a co-DM. And so there'll definitely be times where will something else be said or something, and it's like, oh, we're doing this now. Oh, I didn't think that was going to happen. All right. Or, oh, that's not what I thought was going to happen. And you just got to play off of it. And then like after the show or on break, we'll kind of talk and be like, all right, so what did you mean by this? And be like, oh, I meant this. Okay, well, let's shift it and kind of rework things if we need to. It's really great being remote play because we can just type to each other. But when we're in studio, like for the older episodes, you'll actually see us like writing to each other. We have a notepad that we just scribble down notes onto. And that way we can like kind of do our communications. It's really great remotely because we can and turn to talk to each other. We mute our microphone, turn to talk to each other. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks.
That's really cool.
Thanks. It's fun. I very much enjoy it.
Any one or two pieces of advice for any of our limited viewers who might want to think about co-DMing? Just saying, like, we don't have a ton,
viewers,
but, like,
both kinds of viewers, limited and unlimited.
You knew what I meant, and I appreciate you for being an ass. But any advice for somebody who might be interested, like a step that they can take or something that you learned along the way, for anyone who wants to co-DM?
You have to trust your co-DM. You can't just you have to click and mesh in your type of story you want to tell. You got to make sure that you want to tell the same story that you're telling together. Otherwise, you're going to see that tension and you're going to headbutt at times. So the biggest thing that I would say is if you have someone in mind that you're thinking about co-DMing with, just, make sure that you understand the type of co-DMing that you're going to be doing. And you're on the same page as far as the type of story you're telling. And to just really step into the yes and improv aspect of it. Know that sometimes they may say something that you weren't expecting, just like players, and you just roll with it and then figure out a way to make it narratively make sense or mesh into the story after the session ends.
Very cool. I love it.
What can you tell us about Painkiller?
He's a character on the show.
That's excellent. Well done.
Cool.
Is it officially announced, or is it just a rumor that he's getting a spinoff?
I think it's been. There is a pilot that is being done, but I don't know if it has been. I don't know if it.
You don't know? Yeah, it's cool. I saw something the other day about Black Lightning coming to a close, but Painkiller being a spinoff from it. So that was my gotcha question. I hope you feel got.
So got.
All right, Shawn.
Yes.
Tell Dustin about our rating system so that he can properly rate the tea he's drinking.
Okay.
Please. Wow, you're not going to be a jerk about it this episode?
I feel like I've been a jerk about other things. I'm maintaining
that's
the brand.
true.
We're good. Yeah, come on. So Dustin, we have a rating system. It goes from 0 stars to 5 stars. At 0 stars is bad. Would recommend against. If someone was like, oh, this one sounds interesting, we would be like, no, don't do that. 1 star. This is fine. I wouldn't order it, but I drink it to be polite. 2 stars, below average, would drink, wouldn't buy. 3 is good, would buy, not preferred. 4 is great, will order again. And 5 is awesome, must keep on hand. If this is ever not in my house, I will burn my house to the ground and move to wherever this is produced. I've added some stuff to 5.
I was going to say, I don't remember 5 being that intense, but...
That's some intense 5 right there.
Yeah.
I got some coffee like that, so I get it.
Yeah. I also am a coffee snob. We have like 4 or 5 other guests that are like, well, then let's do this for coffee. And I'm like, it's going to be a panel show. All right.
Yeah.
Rosie, where are you at with this tea?
It's a 3 for me. Like, I don't normally drink green teas. We know it. Any of our regular viewers would know that I don't love green teas, but this had some really good flavors to it. I enjoyed the like cacao there. I enjoyed that sweetness with it, and even a little bit of the like the calendula, that florally, that was fine. I wish you could taste the anise a little. I feel like I could taste it on the... This is going to come out wrong, but I feel like I tasted on the swallow. So, it was good. But I also don't need to have it like regularly in my house.
Very cool. I took partial notes of your thoughts. I lost track because all I wrote was enjoyed cacao sweetness. So I don't know that that's useful.
That's enough for me to remember what it tasted like.
Great.
Fill that chart out more.
This is probably a 1 for me. I'm gonna finish this cup because I don't like wasting tea, or wasting things in general. I think that it smells really nice. I am just beginning to learn that I don't really like the taste of calendula petals. I've never been much like floral. Has to be very specific for me to like it.
Right.
I think that the green tea flavors are good, but the way they are accented by both the anise, which does hang around on the back of your throat,
right,
which I love because I love licorice. Like that's my favorite part about this. But the calendula petals are just not doing it for me. I only got a little bit of cacao here and there going through. Those were nice. Those were nice moments. But overall, I don't know that I would reach for this given a choice.
Beautiful.
Sorry, Dryad. What about you? Dustin?
I would say the Ravens in the Library is a 4 for me. I would 100% order this again. It is delicious. The floral aspects of it really, really like hit the tongue and linger. The Earl Grey is a little bit stronger than the black tea aspect of it, but that's okay for me because I prefer an Earl Grey over a black. So that really hits all of like the sparks of my taste buds. They're just in heaven right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
But you're not gonna commit to burning your house down if you don't.
I don't think I would burn my house down if I didn't have it. No.
Well, then you don't love it.
It is a good cup of tea.
Woohoo!
Nice. That's excellent.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Dustin, where can the people find you and D4 and all of that good stuff?
I am on the Twitters. You can find me at Flash Fletch. You can find D4 at D4DND at D4D RPG. I just got sidetracked there. At D4D&D RPG across all social medias. And you can catch D4 every Sunday from 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv Rock Punch ATL or the official D&D Twitch channel. Also, Tuesdays, ATL by night is sometimes there. I'm kind of on hiatus right now due to just work schedules, but we do a vignette as well that focuses around my character and kind of touches base with some guest characters and helps flesh out the city of Atlanta a little bit more. Coming up on the 20th of March, which may have already aired at this point, so they've gone, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Talon and Claw is doing a charity stream I'm playing in. Devin and I are co-DMing, and looking forward to that. And yeah, that's me.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
given that this is probably coming out after March 20th, go find out what charity that was and donate to them.
Yes.
Go back and do that. You've already missed the stream.
How
People
dare
are counting
you
on you.
miss the stream?
You should have known. You should have known.
You know who you are.
Shawn, where can the lovely people of the interwebs find you?
Where can they find me? Usually I plug my Twitter at Shawn Banerjee or my YouTube at youtube.com/Shawn Banerjee, where you can find the VODs of these posted on Mondays. But in this case, the people of the internet can find me under their bed.
Wow.
I mean, not any particular person's bed, but the people of the internet's bed. I'm down there with the mole people hanging out. Yeah, no, it should be. Cool. Listen, the mole people asked me to come teach them how to play D&D, so that's what I'm doing. What about you, Rosie?
Cool. I was just going to give out my Instagram account because I usually give out my Twitter, but I was going to give out Instagram, which is basically the same thing, but it's Rosie_games, but 22 on Instagram.
Your dog's
you'll find pictures of dogs, my nails, because I love to do my nails. And every once in a while, I'll take a picture of my face or like a mug of tea. So it's really exciting. I do hikes and camp. So once the weather gets not what it is now, I'll do that too. So you guys have a lot to look forward to. I'm just saying.
And check out at Sip Happens, our Twitter account.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a Twitter account by the time this thing is up. So, yeah, check out
Hopefully it's at Sip Happens. I don't know what it is.
I don't either, but it's going to be in the chat. So just click on that button.
It's right there. Right there.
Yeah, just click on that. I don't understand why that's so confusing. Yeah, and who knows, by the time this airs, we could have an Instagram. I mean, people could just be like sponsoring us left and right to do things for them and stuff. So
I just want Beetle and Grim to make a like tea infuser for us. It doesn't make any sense, but I want it.
I want that too, like a D20, like tea infuser. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very tight with their shipping goblins, so I'll see what
I'd heard rumors about you and the shipping goblins.
Yeah, I mean,
rumors.
Yeah, shifty little guys.
Or like a set of dice where like the D20 is like a nice teapot or something. Like the 20 is a teapot or something like that.
Yes, an unusable set of dice would be great.
No. Like a set of dice and like the 20, instead of it being the number 20, it's like a teapot.
Oh.
Like I rolled a nat 20 because I have a teapot on showing of. Yeah. Not like a dice that's shaped like a teapot. Is that what you were thinking?
Any of us knew any dice manufacturers who could make that.
No idea. I have no clue.
I've never met any, so
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. No, I don't work for a dice manufacturer.
Yeah, none of us.
Anyway, thank you all.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Dustin,
thanks for having
taking
me.
some time with us to hang out.
Thank you for coming directly from I-85 to here.
Oh man!
But you needed a cup of tea after traffic, anyways, so it kind of worked out. Like you just needed to relax.
I did, and this was the perfect end to sitting in traffic for way longer than I should have. Because but I have a nice cup of tea. I am almost done with my tea, and it is delicious.
Beautiful.
You know what that means? You have more room for tea.
I do.
All right, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Sip happens.
Sip happens.